looker, isn't she? This car looks absolutely fantastic, especially in this black paint and this hatchback form. I mean, all the Mazdas, they have such a clean design to them. I just can't get over it. I mean, it's a fantastic looking vehicle from every angle. And I even had it lined up with the sedan, and they both look great together. And the sedan was like this red color. It was so like liquid looking. Loved it. But before I begin this review, I just want to take a moment to thank Capital Mazda and Cary for letting me do this review on the brand new 2019 Mazda 3. If you guys want a great deal on a Mazda, come check them out. They can ship cars out to you. So if you want to work with some real human beings, not just a salesperson, go ahead and give them a ring. I'll leave all their information down in the description below. But onto the review. Nobody with me in the car. It's just me, so it's going to be an absolutely... I mean, I don't care if there is somebody with me in the car or not. You're going to get an objective review regardless. So about the Mazda 3. Right now, I have the 2019 Corolla hatchback to review. So I have a great idea of what to look for in a great hatchback compact vehicle like this. So I'll just run through some specs for you first. This motor is really potent. It's a 2.5 liter Skyactiv, 186 horsepower and equal amount of torque, 186. This thing pulls really well. Everything from the steering to the brakes, everything feels linear. The brake pedal isn't just like overly brake boosted where you get all the bite up front, so I really love that. And the steering, even in the sport mode, doesn't feel ridiculous. It has a perfect amount of weight to it and gives you pretty good feedback, and it turns in pretty well. I think the steering in all the compact vehicles, I think this has to be my favorite because the Kia cars and the Toyota Corolla that I have right now, they both feel insanely light and just they turn in on a dime, and it just doesn't feel natural. This one does. Now going back to the motor a little bit, yes, this has a ton of power, especially for this class and weight of vehicle. On paper, 186 horsepower and 186 foot-pounds of torque. Yes, it pulls really well. However, I would just say that this pulls about as equal to the Corolla, which has about 168 horsepower, so about 20 less. However, the Corolla I have is a manual transmission. This is an automatic, so perhaps that has something to do with it. But regardless, you're not going to have any issues with power in this car. This feels much stronger. Both the Corolla and this feel much stronger than the Forte did in terms of pulling power. Yeah, this car really does surge off, especially in the initial gears, first few gears. Now, the transmission is the next thing I want to talk about. This is a 6-speed automatic, an actual 6-speed, no CVT, none of that nonsense. This is a legitimate 6-gear vehicle. Love it. I'm glad they didn't do some nonsense 10 gears or anything like that. This is normal. There's no weird gear hunting going on with this car. It kicks down pretty well. It's not, instantaneous or anything like that, but you're not going to have any issues with this car. You're not going to really have any complaints with it. For the most part, I really like this gearbox. But the most important thing about this vehicle that I think a lot of people want to know about is this new generation Mazda 3 went to a torsion beam. The previous gen did have the multi-link suspension, and in this class of vehicle, you see that most vehicles are going to the torsion beam. And to be honest, from a business standpoint, it makes sense. I mean, in this class of vehicle, nobody really is going to notice that this is a torsion beam because this car rides extremely well. I would almost put it in the same category as the Corolla. Love how that car rides as well. This one, same thing, rides great. And I've had it through some rough pavement and it still feels composed on the road. This car is not all over the place, and you have to understand that Mazda, what makes Mazda special over the other companies is that they put driving dynamics on the top of their list. Yes, it's supposed to be economical, hatchback, comfortable, practical, all of that. It does all that, plus it drives great. This car is a true joy to drive. This is a great handling vehicle. I think this chassis is really well done. There's not a whole lot of body roll. It's really rather composed. The amount of confidence that I have driving this thing is at such a high level. The Corolla is great. I really love that car, and it probably does ride a bit better. However, man, I had to say, I think I kind of prefer this a little bit more. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the seating position of this car is a lot better. And visibility, yes, it's a little bit limited. However, with the mirrors, I can see just fine out of this car. It just feels right to me. I feel like I fit better in it for some reason. Now, I know that can change for, depending on your size and all that, but I've really been enjoying my time with it. And I mean, going into this, I knew this was going to be a great vehicle, but yeah, I'm shocked that these don't sell that well compared to the competition anyway. You're doing yourself a huge disservice by at least not checking out the Mazda 3. This is a great vehicle. So, climbing inside the new Mazda 3 2019. Oh my gosh, are you in for a treat? Because hands down, this has got to be the best interior space in this segment. Hands down, this has to be. When you get into this car, especially for the first time, you wonder why. What do you get when you pay up for a luxury vehicle? Because it's all here. Everything is so well done. Leather wrapped, everything on the dash, the center console and all that. Stupendous interior, really is. This particular model, it is pretty much fully loaded to the brim with all the options. Got the preferred package on it, so it's definitely going to be the most luxurious of the bunch, but you're getting a lot for the money here, so really nice car. This particular car does come with the white leather seats, and yeah, they're leatherette, but my gosh, do they feel great. They feel great to the touch and also to sit in. Really nice executive-like seats, love that. And the white theme continues on the door panel. Door panel really well done as well. This car, because it does have the preferred package on it, does have the 12-speaker Bose system with the metal speaker grills on the side of the door panel. Fantastic look. Everything about it, the way they've broken up the colors, looks great. But not all is perfect in this vehicle. There are definitely some cons. Because it's a white leather seat, it's going to be impossible to keep clean. Other things to note, this vehicle has a speedo that's essentially an LCD panel. The tachometer is a physical tachometer, and so is the gas gauges, the fuel gauge, I'm sorry. But the speedometer is an LCD panel, just like it is in the Corolla XSE that I have. So over time, I don't know if they'll pixelate or whatever, but it's just something to note. I don't think it's a huge problem. It looks fantastic though. Same with the 8.8-inch screen that they put up here in the middle. Yeah, it's kind of stuck on, but it looks really well done actually. And the black levels, the quality of the screen is so high. I would put this up there with the VW and Audi screens. Really high quality screen, easy to use. The center stack has like a sense of Panamera to it with the way it's laid out. Really like that. It's got this rotary dial in the middle to handle all your controls. So that's really nice and easy to use. You got knobs, buttons, all that stuff. Other complaints, this whole center stack is full of piano gloss black plastic. It's going to be impossible to keep that clean as well. And I'm not a huge fan of the e-parking brakes. I feel like I just prefer the physical one, but I get why they did it here. It looks flush, looks clean. Overall, man, I really like this interior space. The only other thing is the climate control. Climate control, fantastic. They have it separated from the screen. Tactile feel is great with the knobs, the dials, the buttons. Everything feels great to touch, great to operate. Looks nice too. And that's definitely something that most manufacturers can take notes on, basically, because this looks great and separated from the screen. This is such a well done cabin. I think this has to be my most favorite in this segment. Climbing inside the rear, not the most spacious, can't lie. This has great amounts of headroom. However, the legroom in the back, not the best. I'm about 5'11". The seat is set to my driving position. And I can fit back here. It's really comfortable. The seats are great, like I mentioned, really soft, supportive. I can do maybe like a half-hour trip back here, but that's okay. You can still fit adults back here just fine. The level of quality still continues even back here. The door panels still look beautiful. Like I said, the seats are great. There is no rear ventilation, no HVAC system in the rear, but overall, really well done. Finally, let's get to the rear. This is a hatchback and a beautiful one at that. Super practical, great amounts of space, and of course you can fold down the seats 60/40, so that's great. Overall, you should be able to fit everything that you need back here. I would say this is comparable to the Toyota Corolla hatch, maybe a bit more space actually. Yeah, I think this has a little bit more space in the Corolla hatch, a bit more usable space. The Corolla is a little bit more narrow, but I mean overall, really practical car, and you can actually fit adults back there for the most part. Let's get into the conclusions of this vehicle and wrap this video up. So wrapping up my time with the brand new 2019 Mazda 3. First, I just want to say there are no bad cars in this segment. All the cars really are fantastic. And actually currently I have a 2019 Corolla hatchback to review, a car that I really love. So what does Mazda offer in this competitive segment? Well, Mazda, they put driving dynamics as a huge priority in their vehicles, and you see that here with this car. This car drives absolutely fantastic. A lot of people, they're probably worried about the fact that they switched to a torsion beam rear end. After driving this, I can tell you that shouldn't be even on your mind, actually. This car drives so well, it's so well composed, it rides really decently, maybe not as well as the Corolla does, but far better than the Forte, and I really can see myself daily driving this. It's such an easy car to place, to drive in heavy traffic, no issues. They've been able to do so much good here that the cons are really limited, but here they are. My only few concerns are the fact that this engine is direct injected. Most cars in this segment are, so I can't really complain. The rear leg space isn't the best. The speedometer is digital, but it is what it is. Aside from those slight nitpicks, I mean, this is a car you're doing yourself a huge disservice by not checking out, not just this one, but really all the other cars in this segment. I actually have no idea after driving this why their sales figures are so low. When these vehicles look fantastic, they have an interior that just, oh my gosh, has a great wow factor to it. Just high quality. You wonder why you pay up for a luxury car when you step inside one of these things. And I hope more and more people begin to check these cars out. And with that really concludes my review of this vehicle. I'd just like to thank Capital Mazda one last time in Crossroads, Cary, for letting me do this review. Again, I'll leave all their contact information down in the description box below for both Will and Jay, the general manager of the store. So if you're interested in Mazda, definitely check them out. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I'll have the Corolla video up soon. Thank you and goodbye.